Hello, good morning, and welcome to a quick news burst in the morning. Yes, after just doing an unboxing, I have to go live again quickly just to cover a little bit of news that has well, I say broken, it's about 3 hours ago, and I somehow missed it this morning. And that is that Hiya Toys have revealed their Firefly Exquisite Mini figure. So I thought we'd go through it fairly quickly while I had a little bit more time left in the morning. But yeah, let me know if you're watching at the moment. Of course, you can let me know what your thoughts are on this particular figure in the comments. And of course, all the usual, get your questions in, get your comments in, all that good stuff. Hit the like, hit the subscribes, and all of those good things. Like I said, it'll just be a quick one this morning just to cover it, and of course get a bit of detail in some of the images and talk about it a little bit. But to be honest, not a great deal to go into because effectively the figure is just as we kind of expect with Hiya Toys, very close to the classified stylings. Hello, Joe Barrett. Good morning. Let's get stuck into it then and take a look at these images. Yo, so straight in there. Yeah, we're not wasting any time this morning, are we? Yes, Firefly has been revealed by Hiya Toys, and it's, like I said, very similar to that original, that first classified figure. You've got the kind of bulky gear over the top. The legs are a little thinner on these figures, so they look a little skinnier in general. There's a different silhouette, a different vibe with Hiya Toys figures for sure. Now, where last time we had Flint revealed, I was a little bit kind of put off by the head sculpt. I thought the head was a little off, the beret was a little wonky, but with the figures the masked figures, they've just been amazing, really nice, and this one is no exception. Obviously, you've got the night vision goggles that came with that figure as well. You've got the very what's the word? Synonymous with that character, the blaster, and of course that amazing backpack and drone set situation as well. And that drone's really fun, like the little legs and the little, the little propellers and everything. It's a very awesome addition to the Firefly character, in my opinion. What else are we saying in here? Garrison Kane says, hopefully the quality on the hands are better than the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes figures. Yeah, I heard a lot about that, Garrison, about the fact that like only one of like their hands could actually hold weapons and the other one was kind of closed. So yeah, like obviously you want with these modern 4-inch figures, you want both hands to have C grips. I totally agree with that. Joe Barrett says Firefly is spot on. He does look pretty cool, I've got to admit. Definitely agree with that. But then again, I really like this version of Firefly anyway, like the classified version. It's almost like the classified version, and then there's certain aspects have been slightly altered. Love the deco on it. Obviously it comes with that kind of that dynamite stack as well, with the timer on it. Very wily coyote, that in it. And then of course we've got these images, so we see even more. We've got that little kind of tablet he comes with. Again, a better shot of the blaster that he's got, with the goggles down as well, so you can kind of see all of that too. The secondary looks really nice on this figure. I'm not gonna. I really enjoyed the first classified version, so this one is definitely kind of up there. I love the background's just all explosion. It looks like, doesn't it? Just all explosion for Firefly in the background. Anyway, yeah, looking good, looking tight. There's a nice close up as well to see some of the textures on the arm and the material and on the clothing. The Cobra sigil on that shoulder armor as well that's attached to the secondary. You can just about make out the backpacker as well, but effectively you're looking at the classified version shrunk down, aren't you? That's effectively what we're looking at here with the Hiya Toys figures in general. What else can we talk about? Well, we've got a few more images to look at. So on the kind of more clear, or kind of not the product images, not the promo images, but the more kind of product on white background images, and we can see a little bit more of the details here on the secondary, on the figure itself. The deco as well, like, is a bit clearer here too, and we do get a nice shot of the kind of close up of that head sculpt with the goggles down. I think it's a pretty cool figure. Again, it is effectively the line for 4-inch fig collectors that want classified, but in a smaller scale, isn't it? Basically, So yeah, that's effectively what you're getting with Hiya Toys. And finally, we've got the loadout image as well, which kind of gives us a full view of everything that he comes with. So he has got a number of different hands going, and it is a nice looking figure, Troy. Yes, absolutely. A number of different hand options. There's the backpack. You've got the flying drone. You've got the kind of tablet kind of detonator thing he's got. You've got the bundle of dynamite with the timer, the blaster, and the kind of dio stand, figure stand thing, which locks into the other stands as well. So it kind of creates like create a nice little diorama with the figures on it as well, which is pretty cool. Effectively, that is it. Is there anything else to really identify in this figure that stand out to me? Not that I can tell. I like the lines on the kind of like undershirt, almost like the kind of textural lines they've got going over there. The deco actually looks really nice. The camo's really nice. I almost want to get the Firefly image up, the classified one. I do this usually with the Hiya Toys reveals, but haven't done it on this one or the Flint one, so I don't do it that often, do I? But in terms of Firefly classified, and then yeah, like there's a nice image to kind of give us an idea as to how close we are dealing with in these figures. But it looks as though they've made a few changes here to the deco especially. So on the classified figure, the headgear is like a light gray all over, but on this one you've got this kind of like dark gray running down the middle. The lines are still the same, but you're effectively looking at a different deco on this one, almost like the darker spots are a little bit darker, but effectively the deco is roughly the same. In actual fact, on the classified figure, it looks like the white elements of the camouflage are brighter than the white elements on this particular camouflage, and the secondary seems to be all a much darker, all the same kind of color. Whereas the secondary on the classified Firefly was kind of light gray at the top with the kind of dark, kind of almost black pouches, and then like a lighter gray, like a darker than the light gray, but lighter than the black gray on the kind of like cover for the grundle cover, as I like to call it, which is slightly less obtrusive on this particular version of the figure by the looks of things than it was on the Firefly previous, but very similar. Like the knee pads are darker on the Hiya Toys figure. They were kind of like a light gray on the classified figure, but effectively everything else is pretty much the same, and it's the same loadout almost identically. The drone, the kind of little tablet, the goggles, the stick of dynamite, the backpack, and the blaster. So effectively, you're looking at, classified through and through here. It's interesting that they're going with these particular characters that are very significantly classified styled. So where just in time for the Grundle cover, Mark, yeah, where you've got, you've got the opportunity to maybe go in a different direction in some cases, but they've definitely kind of gone, let's go with the ones that are specific to the classified styling. So Firefly is obviously one of those. Snake Eyes definitely stuck to that first classified version. Storm Shadow was the version we never got in classified, but it was effectively the original design that was on website artwork. It was on merchandise. It found its way out in the Titan series of figures, but not with the tattoo. It was on Operation Blackout. If you get what I'm saying here, there's like definitely an angle here where they're going for specifically classified designs, which is, again, how far does that reach? Have they got like a point where they're going to hit a wall on what is already available in terms of design? And are they going to go in? Are they going to do their own sort of classified inspired designs? It's interesting to kind of think about where they might go from here. But I mean, I could see them doing Roadblock. So Roadblock is an option. Scarlet is an option, as they are both very specifically, have classified styling. Who else is that? Let us know in the comments. But who else do you think could fit that mold? I mean, Major Blood is definitely, that classified version definitely adheres to a classified style. It's got loads of updates and upgrades to the original. So I would probably suggest you could probably get away with Major Blood, direct homage. That first Zartan, you could definitely get away with as a Hiya Toys figure, with the monkey paw and those little elements thrown in. Let me know in the comments, who do you think Hiya could do in terms of classified styling kind of figures? Obviously, Flint's already on the docket. Lady J's a possibility because she has a lot of elements that are, you could definitely say are more classified than they are vintage. Well, Flint, yeah, Ryan, but Flint's already they've already done Flint. They've already revealed him as a figure. I'm just trying to think of any others that might fit that. I mean, you could argue because barbecue's very much the barbecue figure, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like there's no mistaking that. Same with like a lot of the new ones. Yeah, Zartan definitely. I think that first Zartan figure could definitely slot into a Hiya Toys kind of like schedule of designs and figures. Breaker, maybe. But would you throw the Ram in? Would they do a 4-inch Ram? I suppose you wouldn't necessarily need to, considering we've got many Rams already. There we go. Now you're talking. Yes, Cobra Trooper, especially the first Cobra Island Cobra Trooper. Yes, the Baroness is one you could definitely do. The Cobra Island Baroness. We've already got Beachhead, of course. So I think that whole wave of figures, that Roadblock, the heavy duty long beard t-shirt Cobra Island Roadblock, they could do. Vipers, absolutely, Robert. Yeah, they're definitely significant to, or the design is definitely strictly attached to classified. I agree on that one. Even Cobra Infantry Mark, yeah. I would probably go with the Cobra Island Trooper, for them, because that is so far removed from everything else, and is definitely they look to be aiming for those initial designs straight away, early on. Spirit is a good shout, actually, Ryan. Yeah, because effectively he is a classified only design at this point, isn't he? Yeah, I agree with that. Chuckles, says Philly. Yeah, well, yeah, because that is pretty much a classified thing. But I mean, there's not much they've done to it different, though, is there? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, what I'm thinking is there's still plenty of figures they could definitely do by the looks of things. By the way, we talked about Roadblock, Scarlet, Lady J for the Joes, and Breaker. There's a lot of early figures they could probably do. And then for Cobra, you've got Zartan, Blood, Vipers, the Cobra Trooper, also Roadblockers. There's 2 versions of Roadblock they could get away with those kind of sort of classified only designs. I'm just trying to think of any others that really spring to mind. I don't think there's anything really kind of jump out at me. I'm trying to look at my shelves in my head. I'm trying to think. Oh, Gung Ho, definitely. Gung Ho's one that is definitely that classified version could definitely be done. Alley Vipers, Robert, yes. Now we're talking. They could fix Falcon, says Joe Barrett. Well, yeah, but they could. Absolutely, they could do, or could they? Considering the Flint head sculpt is definitely one that I'm like a little bit dubious on. And I'm talking about the Hiya Toys Flint. I love the classified Flint. You're talking about me being Chuckles. Thanks, Philly. I appreciate that. You mean charismatic and wears loud clothing? No, I'm. It looks like he's been beaten up. Yeah, I could be Chuckles. Destro says figure 6-pack. Yeah, I guess. But how specifically classified is he? I guess he is. When you get into all of the different textures and panels and all that kind of stuff. No, I think you're right, figure 6-pack. I think Destro, yeah. Pretty much anything in that early kind of phase going up to and probably stopping around about Flint and Jay, because it was around then that they started. I mean, Flint and Jay were actually designed down a little bit as well, I believe. They were even more kind of classified style before they got even more of that kind of treatment. I mean, Cobra Commander hasn't technically. Snake Supreme Cobra Commander would be a good one for them to do, I think. Utilize that design for Snake Supreme on a specific Snake Supreme version. They'll have to do Destro soon, surely. Core figure hump. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that they're squeezing in these kind of characters, but at the same time, we talk about, Firefly and, some of those characters being on the fringes, but they're not really. They've turned into core. Like Firefly is on every single list now, isn't he? Multiple classified, Mezco, Hiya, 3-0. Firefly is becoming the Cobra equivalent of Snake Eyes in terms of how he's being utilized. Serpentor Action J is a great shout because that is definitely got a lot of kind of updates to it, and the Air Chariot specifically. You'd want the Air Chariot as well, which is bonkers. Nemesis Enforcer. Yeah, but the problem there, Philly, are you saying I'm Nemesis Enforcer, or have you switched to characters that we could see in Hiya Toys? Because, that doesn't have any kind of basis yet in the classified design kind of series. Crimson Guard, says Joe. Even though the Crimson Guard, again, it's very close, though, isn't it, to... it's very close to what the vintage styling would be. I guess you could do it because there are elements like slight details that are different. PDD, yeah, Profit Director. I could see them doing that one big time. And Zorana could squeeze in there, yeah, because there's a lot of modifications on her figure, yeah, definitely. You throw in Rokondo in there, Robert, as well. Interesting. Bazooka's he's too vintage, as is Stalker, as I think CoverGirl and Dusty as well. I think they're all too vintage, honestly. Who's to say they're not going to? They might do them. They might absolutely do them. I'm just trying to think of, in the way that they're doing this line, what this line is about. It definitely seems to me like very early classified kind of style designs. And yeah, like I said, I think there's only a certain amount they can really get to, but still, after what we talked about, that seems to be quite a lot of things. And then you take into consideration, will it have that amount of legs in it? Who knows? We'll see, I guess. But that is Firefly. Get some nice product shots on screen as well before we bring it to a close here today. Again, it's very much what we kind of expected. If Firefly was on anyone's list, I thought I'd assumed we'd already seen this, but I think it's like the Firefly fatigue of seeing him for 3-0, for Mezco, for Classified, and I think that's what it was. And popping up, I may have even seen the images and it hadn't dawned on me. But it was only thanks to, I'll shout out Angela Cruz, who mentioned it, that these images were up online as I was doing my unboxing. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me again for another another News Burst Live. Stephen Chaser wants to throw in Hardball. I'd love a Hardball in Classified. Just saying. They've got the caps, it would appear now. We've got the Rigger hat, which is going to be specifically, I think, for Crazy Legs. But we do have the cap for Shockwave. So I think we could see Hardball there, definitely. Shooter and Mole Rat, says Robert H. Actually, that's good shouts, because I could see because they are specifically classified designs. Yeah, I agree with you on those. Definitely. We do have his weapon, Stephen. We do have Hardball's weapon. Yes, we do. That kind of grenade launcher thing. Yeah, definitely. Okay, right then. That's it for me. Let's bring this one to a close. Yes, thank you for joining me for 2 in a row this morning. Squeezed them in though, didn't I? And we still got like 20 minutes out of it. That's not too bad. Thanks very much for joining me to talk about Firefly, Hiya Toys Exquisite Mini. One thing I will talk about before I go, though, is the fact that we've got a few more details to discuss here. So apologies for missing that out while we were talking about the figure. But this is what Hiya Toys have posted on their socials. Firefly is undetectable, but his work is unmistakable. Now we have a new item of Hiya Toys Exquisite Mini series from G.I. Joe. Firefly, the Cobra covert ops agent, is a faceless master who operates without leaving a physical trail or digital footprint. He leaves a pretty impressive dent in where he goes, though, doesn't he? In and out without a trace, the anonymity of his destruction serves as his calling card. He trained as ninja, mastering skills like stealth and infiltration before turning to demolitions and sabotage. Firefly has a talent for discerning and exploiting flaws or fracture points in structures, be they bridges, bunkers, or relationships. With expertly applied pressure, he derives great satisfaction in bringing down his target. The Exquisite Mini Series Firefly action figure stands at 105 millimeters tall, which is about, 4 inches, just around 4.1 inches, I think it is, and is based on the original appearance design of G.I. Joe Special Forces Firefly's based on the original appearance design of G.I. Joe Special Forces. I don't know what that means. It's effectively the original appearance of him in Classified. Firefly's combat suit is equipped with multiple pockets and hooks. Hooks? Allowing him to carry various tactical equipment and tools. He holds a black pistol and carries explosives and drone remote control devices ready to execute a wide range of missions. The finely detailed accessories, including the pistol, tactical backpack, drone, and explosive pack, are faithfully reproduced even in the small 1/18th scale. With 17 points of articulation utilizing a brand new joint design, Firefly has an extended range of motion, allowing you to pose him in various combat stances. The package also includes 2 interchangeable hand types for displaying different gestures. Furthermore, an exclusive G.I. Joe Special Forces series display base is included, simulating a battle-scarred ground with scattered bullet shells and debris, enabling you to recreate a realistic battlefield atmosphere in the comfort of your home. Release time will be 2024 Q1. I think that's the same as Flint, actually. And the price will be $24.99 USD. I imagine we'll have a similar situation in terms of release. Asian-only market, and then you're looking at like Robot Kingdom and a couple of other independents in order to get hold of that one in this country. There you go. That, I think, is everything. I think I've covered all of it. This one of the fastest updates of the news burst. Yeah, isn't it, Robert? It was the fact that I managed to recoup, get everything up there and do a burst in this time is record-breaking, I believe. Imagine people's face at Hiya when they see Firefly version 2, says Luke. Yeah, imagine that. Joe Barrett, thank you. He says, thanks, Chris. So thank you. And Charlotte says, good morning. Unfortunately, it's the end now, Charlotte, but good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining me on this one, guys. I will see you on the next one. Hopefully we don't have even more stuff to talk about this morning or this afternoon. I've got work to do. So I'll see you on the next one, guys. Remember to stay fresh cheese bags. And after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. See you on the next one. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.